You're listening to Three Kitchens, a member of the Alberta Podcast Network, locally grown, community supported. Join your hosts, Aaron Walker, Sarah Somasundaram, and Heather Dyer. Guess what they're cooking now?
This episode of Three Kitchens is brought to you by the Calgary Foundation, proudly supporting community needs for 65 years. Empathy, kindness, generosity. We are united in our desire to give, to inspire hope, and transform the lives of people who are struggling in turbulent times, and the Calgary Foundation is here to help.
From mental health programs to environmental causes, the Community Knowledge Center website features profiles of charitable organizations, all searchable by area of interest. Be inspired by compelling stories. Be informed of innovative work. Be responsive to the needs.
To connect to hundreds of outstanding charitable organizations serving our community, visit ckc.calgaryfoundation.org. To learn more about the Calgary Foundation, visit calgaryfoundation.org.
Welcome, listeners. We're back. Another episode. How are you guys today?
Good.
Doing well, thank you.
I've got a funny story for you.
Oh, good.
So last night, my husband and I were sitting down and talking about a schedule for the next couple of weeks. And it has somehow, like, our weeks have gotten really booked up. And one of the things that my kids are going for swimming classes in the morning. And by the time we get back, I got to sort of rush and make lunch. And we desperately need groceries. And so I was telling him, like, I don't know what to do tomorrow, right? Like for lunch, I've got all these things to do and I don't know what to feed the kids. It gives me this big smirk. And then he looks at his phone and keeps scrolling up his phone and goes, Sarah, honey, baby, come on. I bought some kielbasa sausage. All you have to do is slice it up, whisk some eggs, throw the kielbasa sausage in the eggs, maybe add some garlic if you like, some chives or whatever, and then, make some rice and throw it over rice. And I'm like, okay, what? This is the man who, when I say it's time for your dinner, like it's time for you to prep dinner, he opens a can of beans and then he tops it with his special topping of hot dogs.
Oh, yeah.
And that's dinner, right? So I'm like, what the hell? So I'm like glaring at him. He's still looking at his phone. I open my mouth to say something back. And I go, you know what? We've got a bunch of things to discuss. I'm just going to keep this in my back pocket. One day I'll use this against him. The heavens will open. The clouds will part. That ray of sunshine will come down, right? That beam will be like right on me. And I'll get to use this against him. I might have to wait a few weeks, but it'll be worth it, right?
30 seconds later.
I think you should just actually cook that for him one day and put it in front of him and see if he's like, yay, this is so great.
Well, I didn't have to wait that long, though. Because this morning, he opens the fridge and he goes, there are no leftovers? Darn it, what am I going to pack for lunch, for work? Oh, man, I got to make something. Oh, it's going to take some time. And then it was like angels singing for me. I put my arms over like my armchair rest. I pick up my phone. I get onto Instagram. I start scrolling. I go, honey, baby, sweetie. Don't worry about it. And repeat. At least he found it funny. He found it funny, but it was such, they say that there's no such thing as perfection, but this moment was just like, it was so good. And the rest of my day went so well after. It was just so good.
I love your misery.
Such a beautiful moment.
Oh dear. I feel like because we have not done much in the last year and a half, all of a sudden when I have one thing to do in the day, sometimes it completely overwhelms me.
It does. It becomes overwhelming. Yeah.
That's because it's like, oh, well, my kid has guitar lessons in the afternoon today.
Oh no.
How will I get to the library at 10?
That's right. Yeah.
It really shouldn't affect anything. But for some reason, it's, we're just used to kind of flying without all those restrictions and schedules. And yeah, it's kind of weird now that we're starting to get back into that again.
Yeah. And having to get dressed to go somewhere.
Exactly.
Like me this morning texting you guys picture that I had one of my kids take of me in my outfit. I'm like, I'm going somewhere. Does this look okay? Because I'm so used to just wearing, I don't know, sweats or whatever I pick up off the floor.
Yeah.
No, it's been weird. Like today I had to take the kids for swimming, and then later on I have an appointment, so I had to take a shower in the morning.
Oh
So
no.
I had to wake up earlier. It was awful. But it isn't. But it is, right? It's weird.
It's just so much more work.
It is.
Yeah. My friend described it really well in saying that like the world is way more people-y now. And I would agree. I don't like all the people out, even when I did go out and do stuff, at least it was kind of like empty. People were grocery shopping by themselves. Yeah. Now there's all these people around. And
where did they come from?
It's way more people-y.
I don't like the cars on the road either. It used to be nice and quiet. You could get anywhere in like 10 minutes because we just zip along. And now it's traffic.
Yeah.
And construction.
Yeah.
You see the amount of construction there is out in Calgary? Like we take the same route to the swimming pool every single day. And every single day there's a new construction spot where we have to like go around and detour. It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Heather?
Yes, Aaron?
Are you making kielbasa with egg and throwing it on rice, Heather?
I'm not making that. This episode, I'm talking ice cream.
Yummy.
How funny. I just had some for lunch.
Yes, I noticed that. I noticed you were eating ice cream. Probably a little bit different, though, because you guys know my body's aversion to milk products.
Right.
Some are okay, some are not. Ice cream is on the no-go list for me. So I'm looking to make non-dairy, no churn ice cream. And I put that in quotations. I feel like I should call it nice cream or something. When you see it like nice cream because of my lactose issues. So, and I don't want to invest in an ice cream maker because I might like it and that would be bad.
I'm also afraid to get an ice cream maker. I would love it way too much.
Yeah. And then can you imagine the family constantly asking, can you just make some ice cream? Can you make some ice cream? Instead of going, oh, sorry, got none. Yeah. You'd be like, but you can make it. Yeah.
It's so much easier just to not have it in the house.
Yes, exactly.
I have no self-control.
Yeah.
I just bought 2 boxes of ice cream. So I'm going to have no self-control today.
There you go.
Let's hear this. Ice cream. Nice cream stuff.
I feel like the majority of, it's like my adult life mainly that I've had troubles with dairy. And when you go to like an ice cream shop, even the nice ice cream places, it's like, oh, so what do you have that's dairy free? Or usually I ask for vegan because that's usually the category it's in. Oh, sorbet. It's like, oh, if I have to see like rainbow sorbet or sherbet or whatever on like, no, I don't want that. That's, to me, that is not the same thing as ice cream. Like I want the creamy, I want it to taste just like the other stuff, but made with something I can eat. Right. It's can be so disappointing. There's many more options now. If you go certainly locally here, there's lots of good vegan options. It is better, but you have to search them out. Then you don't always get a choice of flavor. It's like, well, whatever the one vegan flavor is.
I was going to say, your option is whatever one thing they've made. It's not like you're standing there going through,
what should I pick?
It's like, oh, which one do I get?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It can be kind of disappointing. We were in Banff this summer and we went to the ice cream place. And so, of course, first thing I ask, what have you got for dairy free? And it was some mango sorbet or something. And I was like, nah, no thanks. And she just, this girl kind of just looks at me like, because I don't think I was very nice. I was just like, I'm sure I had a mask on, but I think my face just kind of went, meh, like, nah, no thanks. You're in Banff, on Banff Avenue.
It wasn't personal. Just make more flavors.
Exactly. This beautiful ice cream shop in Banff, and you don't have, come on, there's vegans in Banff. There must be.
There must be. Totally. Yeah, you're right.
They're getting their ice cream somewhere else. There are a few kind of typical bases for what substitutes the cream in a non-dairy. So coconut milk or coconut cream, almond milk, cashew cream, soy, I guess. Those are kind of your typical. So you usually go a nut milk or coconut. Coconut seems to be the most common. I think it might be a little more creamy Maybe.
Right.
I'm not really sure. So usually there's that milk substitute base, some sort of sweetener, which might be sugar, honey, maple syrup, salt, and then whatever flavoring goes into it.
Okay.
And I believe the process for most of the ones I've looked at is like blend it all up, put it in like a pan or something in the freezer and freeze it for about 5-6 hours, stirring it every hour, which apparently helps blend it, like helps make it creamier because you're keeping the stuff kind of blended together.
Right.
And that's it.
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah, it sounds easy.
You forgot to mention it's calorie free.
Oh, calorie free. Yeah, I'm sure it is calorie free.
Let's just go with that, please.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind the sugars I just talked about. They go in there and like
non-caloric sugars.
That's right. So I have a few options for flavors. And it was funny because I was talking to a friend of mine about this, and there was one that I thought sounded I was looking for interesting. I don't want to just make vanilla. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even really like vanilla anyways. It's very boring. Mm-hmm. And so I was looking for some interesting flavor combinations that we might appreciate, even though my kids are like, but that doesn't sound good to me. I'm like, it's not for you.
Excellent. I don't want it to sound good to you.
Yeah, exactly. I always say it's for Sarah and Aaron. It's not for you.
Oh, they love us now.
They're like, oh, it's a Three Kitchens recipe. Oh.
Yeah.
So one of the ones that I saw that I thought sounded kind of good was roasted cherries and balsamic. And I was like, oh, this sounds interesting. And my friend was like, you put balsamic vinegar in your ice cream? He was like, that sounds terrible. Do not do that. So I was like, oh.
I would go for it. I ate a cheesecake once that was with basil, strawberries, and balsamic.
Oh.
It was it was the weirdest thing in terms of like flavor combinations. Like it was something that I want to have again.
Oh, okay. You liked it.
Oh yeah. It was very different flavor combinations, but they all worked great.
Well, Aaron, you and I are on the same kind of wavelength here because I've abandoned the balsamic idea, but I am
sorry, I wasn't excited about it at all.
I know. That's why I didn't mention you when I said we're on the same wavelength, because you were like, ew, that sounds terrible.
Your face said it all, Sarah.
Yeah. I am looking at a strawberry basil coconut milk.
Ooh,
ice
yummy.
cream.
I was hoping you would say coconut milk. Yay.
Yes. I want to make 3 different kinds. I want to do them with different base to get so we can see what is the better creamy.
Idea. Yeah.
So that one is coconut milk. There's another one I'm looking at that's whiskey hazelnut.
Ooh, that sounds
Does this sound good?
beautiful.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, I'm so happy. Okay.
Oh, good. I'm so glad you guys. Okay. This one did go over well with the friend, my guy friend I was talking to. He was like, whiskey, yes. Yeah. That one's good. And
I like your guy friend. He's very smart.
Yeah. Likes his whiskey. And that one's made with cashew and coconut cream. So it's kind of a blend of the nut and the coconut cream. So I think that might be interesting. And then the final one's made with almond milk, and it's just an almond butter chocolate chunk. I might mix that one up. I'm not exactly sure.
That sounds good
but I
too.
want to do the almond, the coconut, and the cashew, and then we'll get a sense of what is the best,
good.
base milk replacement, I guess.
Happy to be your lab rat.
I am really happy to be your taste tester this week.
So with your butter chocolate chip flavor, which I'm excited about too, is that like actual chunks of butter in it? Or
Well, it's almond butter.
Oh, almond butter. Okay.
So I believe it's the almond butter plus almond milk. And that's what gives it its creamy, I believe.
That would be good.
The almond butter, is that something you've seen at a store before?
Yeah, it's just like peanut butter, but it's made with almonds.
Oh, yes. Now I know. Right. Okay. I kept thinking of butter, like butter in blocks. But no, I know what you're talking about. I've had that before. Okay, sorry. It's been a while.
And most of the recipes say it's best within the 2 to 3 days after you make it. It's not like make it and leave it in the freezer for a month and then pull it out. So I got to time it when we can have a nice little ice cream tasting party.
I'll reduce some balsamic to go with your strawberry basil or something, or I'll pick some up at the store or something and see if I can bring it, because and we'll make you try it too, Sarah, but I think Heather will enjoy it.
But on the side, right? On the side.
And then we'll try it out.
I'm not saying you need to like bathe it in that stuff, but just a little bit to get that.
Yeah, of course I'll
bang in
try
there.
it. I love trying new things.
I think it sounds good.
I'll bring balsamic to the party because I really want to try those flavors again.
Nice. So I had considered making ice cream cones, but that seems like a whole other endeavor. And if someone else would like to take that on for another episode in the future, if you make the cones, I'll make the ice cream. We'll make the winning ice cream. We'll put them together.
I once tried to, and the bowls like flattened.
Oh,
I don't know. I can't remember what I did, but it didn't work.
Or store-bought cones. Those are just as good.
Mm-hmm. They have little waffle bowls that you can buy.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Yeah, that sounds delicious.
That sounds amazing, Heather. I'm really interested to see how this turns out.
You know what's interesting? I think the one with the coconut milk base, some of the coconut milk you just use as is out of the can, and you'd split the can and you freeze some of it in advance in cubes. And then when you blend it together, you're blending the frozen with the liquid to help thicken it. Yeah, I thought that was kind of an interesting method.
That is interesting.
So, I mean, it's everything from as simple as like throwing, this is something I've done, like frozen banana with a scoop of peanut butter and blend it up, and there you go, to like some of them are a bit more involved with cooking, like the base or like blending this and then adding that. And so I will choose the recipes and then we'll be able to break down the actual process a little better for part 2.
Sounds so good.
Yes. Let's try them all. I'll make them all. I mean, if I'm going to, I don't think the making of it is time consuming. It's just the stirring it every hour while they're freezing. So I may as well do it all at once, right?
Yeah.
Got 3 of them going, just do them all at once.
That makes sense.
And then we'll taste them all and we can determine which one is our favorite base.
Do you have time to make this for tomorrow's skate date?
I don't know. I do have to go to the grocery store still, so maybe I could get a few
there you
things.
go.
I don't know. I don't know about that. Garlic and ice cream together. All right, listen to this quick ad and then we'll be back with more about nice cream.
Nice cream?
Nice cream. It's nice.
Nice.
Most of the time I just want to go out for ice cream because if it's in my house, I'm just going to eat it like every day. So I like the vegan option at Village Ice Cream in Calgary. And if you're in the area, you might want to stop in and give it a try. You're at the mercy of whatever flavor they happen to have at the time, but they're usually pretty good. So go check it out.
Today's episode is brought to you by Bessie Box, delivering healthy, naturally raised meat and seafood right to your door. Bessie is a small team in Alberta that delivers local food straight from the farm to you.
Choose from Alberta grass-fed and finished ground beef to sustainable Atlantic salmon from BC. You can order on your schedule, whether it's a one-time order or a regular subscription to your favorite Bessie Box. All conveniently flash frozen and portioned, so you always have healthy meat and seafood ready to cook up a storm.
Go to bessiebox.com to order yours now. Plus, APN listeners can use the promotion code APN10 to save 10% off your first order. That's code APN10. Enter it on checkout at bessiebox.com to save 10% off your first order.
Well, here we are, back to find out if your ice cream was nice or not.
Nice? Ice cream? Or was it like, wah, wah? Okay, so I made 3 versions, and I would say one of them was wah, wah. I would say that. So let's start with that one and get it out of the way, because I don't think any of us really liked it all that much.
I didn't hate it.
No, it was just okay. So this was a strawberry basil ice cream from a website called Heal Me Delicious. It is made with coconut milk ice cubes. So you're freezing coconut milk and frozen strawberries. And first you're putting those into your blender to chop them all up. And mine did not it was not very successful. Then I put them into the bullet, which is like the smoothie thing, which it worked a little better, but still, what a pain in the ass. Like those frozen strawberries are like rocks. Like they are so hard to blend. If I'd thought about it, I would have, maybe taken them out earlier, let them thaw a bit or something, because they were just so hard. And then it was just like this chunky, half blended.
And sometimes those frozen strawberries aren't like the tastiest, highest flavor strawberry either. And so I know I use them for making smoothies, and sometimes I'm like, this, it's a strawberry smoothie, and I say that with quotation marks, but it's mostly just cold pink liquid.
Yeah, you need something else with it, with flavor, like a banana or some fresh strawberries even would have been better. So
I was wondering that too.
I think, if you're going to make something like this, I wouldn't make this again. But if I were to try to improve it, I would say take fresh strawberries, maybe freeze them like halfway.
That's
so they're easier to blend, but they're cold and fresh, and maybe they'll taste better. So you do that, and then putting in coconut milk that has not been frozen. So that's your liquid, and a basil simple syrup, which is made by simmering, or kind of not quite a boil, but simmering fresh basil and water. And you reduce that down and then strain out the basil and put in maple syrup.
Oh, okay.
Well, to me, it really just tasted like maple syrup.
I didn't taste any basil. I have to say, that one was a letdown.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, ooh, strawberry basil. I was all excited, and it was like, oh, there's no basil-y flavor.
Yeah.
So this tasted more icy than creamy, in my opinion. The texture came out that way. So
true. Yes.
Yeah, it wasn't very ice creamy.
When it was first all blended up together, the texture was actually quite good.
Right.
It was sort of like a soft serve, or like a super thick smoothie, essentially. And creamy because of the coconut milk. But then once you put it, like I put it into a pan and put it into the freezer because we were going to try them all later. It wasn't as good when I took it back out of the freezer. Then it was like hard and sort of icy. And it just tasted like coconut to me with like a hint of strawberry. So this one I think was a no-go. I wouldn't do it again.
This is the one that also suggested to put a balsamic vinegar reduction on it.
It did not. That was Aaron and I coming up with the idea to,
that was just
and then
us being nuts.
We forgot. And honestly, it wouldn't have helped. I don't think it would have helped it.
We needed the other flavors in order to add a third flavor to it. And those first two flavors flopped.
Yeah.
They didn't show up.
They did not show up to the party. Basil, strawberries failed.
It didn't happen. That's okay, though.
It was good to try. Number 2. So I like this recipe. It was the quickest one to put together. The texture was softer, but still creamy. And it was the no churn, dairy-free, creamy almond ice cream. And this one is from Unconventional Baker. And what I liked about this one was the sweetener was pitted dates. So it had...
oh, yeah.
I didn't realize that. Okay.
Which I think also added texture to it as well. So it was non-dairy milk. I used unsweetened almond milk, pitted dates, which it didn't say to kind of rehydrate them, but I did soak them in just some hot water for like a minute or two first, because I think the texture is usually better that way.
It blends easier too and becomes more evenly distributed. So that's smart.
And it has natural almond butter, salt, almond extract, and vanilla extract. I found it was a bit heavy on the almond extract. I think we talked about that flavor was a bit heavy. Maybe tone down the almond extract, because you can taste that it's...
Like, what would you do next time? Extract. By half, maybe?
Yeah, the recipe has 2 teaspoons. I would say 1 teaspoon would be... Or maybe even put less and taste and see. Yeah, it might just be a personal preference thing, because I thought it was heavy.
But almond milk? This was the base?
So it's a liquid. You're just blending all this, mixing all this together, and then you're freezing it to turn it into the ice cream. It doesn't start with anything frozen.
So while it was freezing, did you have to do the stirring thing with this almondy one?
So I did. It doesn't say to in the recipe, but I did stir it a few times intermittently while it was freezing. And I also chopped up a bit of chocolate and stirred that into it. It said like try cherries or almonds or cocoa nibs or something. And I just used some dark chocolate and stirred that in. But it wasn't heavy on the chocolate. It was really primarily an almond flavor, wouldn't you say?
I think I'm going to want that recipe from you because I just bought a bag of cherries at the store and they're super duper ripe. Like we're either going to have to eat them in the next 2 days or make almond and cherry ice cream.
That would be good.
That'd be really good.
Yes.
This was so decadent. I thought this was a very decadent taste. What I loved about it is it had that salty element in it. And it was very delicious. Very good.
I thought this one was most ice cream like in terms of
it was creamy.
The creaminess. Like it was so creamy.
It went soft quite quickly.
That's right.
Like
it did.
Once you pull it out and let it thaw a bit, all of them need to thaw a little bit to soften up. Okay, this one's a little bit tough to scoop and put in a cone because it's a softer ice cream.
Right. But very good. Very delicious. I totally recommend that one as well. Yeah.
I agree. It's good. And because it's kind of a neutral base, you could put cherries or chocolate or different nuts or whatever in there, right? Okay. And what my personal favorite was the whiskey hazelnut no churn ice cream. And this is from a website called evergreenkitchen.ca.
Good job, Evergreen Kitchen, I gotta say.
So what I thought was kind of funny is in the description, it was called a slightly boozy flavor. Well, I thought it was
I don't think I'd agree with that.
It was a seriously boozy flavor.
It was a good boozy flavor.
Oh yeah, it was like pop.
It was boozy, not slight. No, I don't know who this person is and how much whiskey they drink on a regular basis, but to me, a non-whiskey drinker, I thought, whew, Erin thought she was buzzed.
Yeah, I was like, wow, because I don't ever have any alcohol.
You don't drink, yeah.
That's the most booze I've had in like months.
Since the rum episode.
But with the rum, at least that was cooked off. The alcohol was cooked off. In this one,
not in the icing, it wasn't.
No.
Oh, okay.
I think this ice cream was even heavier than the rum.
Yeah.
How much booze went into the ice cream?
Okay, a quarter cup
cup
of whiskey,
and in a total volume of.
Oh, good question. Oh, here it says makes 1 quart.
Okay.
And you've got a quarter cup of whiskey in there. I used Buffalo Trace Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey.
Okay.
Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. And so I think, bourbon is a very strong tasting whiskey, one of the stronger ones. It's very distinct. So it might have just tasted a little bit more, just strong. It's a strong tasting whiskey, but it was so good. So good.
I thought it was really good, but I actually would tone down the whiskey just a little for my personal taste. I thought it was like...
Oh, see, and I so would not.
It was a hit.
I don't think my kids would enjoy it at all, that taste of whiskey. But
no, I don't think they would.
It.
I think it would be something that the husband and I would indulge in. Totally.
Oh, I think it's better to have treats for yourself that the kids think are gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's bad enough they want to drink the beer. Like,
oh, I know.
Like, you can't also have the whiskey.
I made this mistake with my husband when we first started dating and first, started getting to know each other and living with each other. I'd be like, oh, you have to try this. Well, all these things that I've introduced him to and that he now likes, then he eats all of it. And I don't have my treats anymore. And I'm like, damn it.
You have to share.
I don't want to share. And maybe this is my only child problem coming through, but
yes. I totally get it, Erin.
Okay,
don't worry.
thank you. Because I don't want to share anymore. I'm tired of sharing.
Yeah.
So when my kids are like, ew, this is gross, sometimes I'm like, excellent, keep it that way.
Exactly. The fact that they don't like the olives. Yeah. Let me eat all the olives. I
don't ever like an olive or my anchovy paste.
Oh, no. Somebody else has been putting it on their finger and eating it.
Yeah. I'll smell right away who that is.
Totally.
Oh boy.
So yeah, I had a hard time between the whiskey, which I thought was a really refined, grown-up, adult total ice cream like treat, and of course my love of chocolate and that almond butter in the other ice cream. I can't decide, but I think if I were to make one of the three again, it would be the whiskey one.
Yeah, and I actually like those two in the same bowl together, like a little bit of each on your spoon. Those were good.
They both tasted good together. That's what I went back for seconds for. Is I went for the combination of those last two. And then I just kind of spooned, like you said, out of both.
Yeah.
Yum, yum.
They're good together.
I'm never like the biggest ice cream fan. I never seek it out that often. Although now that we've got some of these better made ice creams and craft ice creameries, if you want to call it, I don't know. Yeah. Then now I've started to like ice cream a lot more.
Yeah.
If I couldn't eat dairy, I would not seek out to make ice cream. However, I would seek out to make these ice creams now, even though I don't have a dairy issue, because I really, really liked the way that they turned out and their texture and flavor. Like they were just so damn good.
And I think there's some, like, you could modify it a little bit. Like I like the dates as the sweetener. Maybe put the dates into the whiskey recipe with the cashew cream, because I like the texture of that one and the whiskey flavor, but maybe the sweetening of the dates as opposed to the maple syrup that was in there, which was, I think, maple syrup plus bourbon. It was just a little heavy on the similar flavor, you know? Yeah.
No, good stuff.
No, those were fantastic, Heather. I'm so glad that you, I would have never tried these out.
Exactly. It was like going to a restaurant and trying something you've never heard of.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of understand what it is, but a totally different take on it. That's what we had for ice cream. It was good.
That's a good way of putting it.
And I know it was not entirely calorie free because
sugar element. Don't be silly.
But I'm going to say, but I think having less heavy cream, you've got nuts as your base instead of like a heavy dairy product. It's a different kind of fat, right?
I mean, I didn't feel the need to step on my weighing machine after this because I knew I put nothing on after eating 4 scoops of that.
Did you call it a weighing machine?
Yes, a weighing scale, whatever thing. You know what I mean.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed at least 2 out of 3, because you never know when you're trying something completely new if it's going to work or not.
But you know what? Now that the strawberry basil thing failed, I think I'm going to go run around and try to find some sort of strawberry basil balsamic thing that we can force Sarah to eat with us.
Yeah, balsamic vinegar and ice cream. I may like it. I have tried many things that have surprised me, so
there you go.
I'll try it.
We just need a really good strawberry basil ice cream to start with, and then we can introduce the balsamic element to it.
All right, I'm game.
All right. Thanks for coming along with me on my search for a no churn, non-dairy. I know it all sounds kind of boring, like, I'll just eat ice cream already, or
kind of sounds like a Starbucks order with your ice cream.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes it just sounds so fussy and particular and ridiculous that it's like, just don't eat it.
You know, if I was hosting and I knew that somebody had an allergy, I would just make, this is the type of thing that you can make for everyone, and everyone would be happy with it.
Everyone could enjoy it. Totally.
You know, you don't have to be like, oh, and you get the
sorbet
on the menu. Yeah. You know, like the sorbet.
Well,
right.
The rainbow sherbet, which is always at the ice cream shop. Yeah. Right. And I suggest making it, like, I made it in the morning and then we ate it after dinner. And I think that's the way to go, because I still had a little bit today. I wanted to take it out of the freezer because I know it doesn't last a super long time. So I was like, we're either going to eat it. This was after lunch. And I was like, okay, kids, do you want ice cream? Like, we're either going to eat it or I'm tossing it out. And honestly, the texture doesn't hold up over time. Okay. Like the strawberry was like way too hard. And the other ones were sort of almost seemed separating a little bit or something. Like they don't stay nicely blended together over days. Like it's 2 days later. I would say make it the day you're going to eat it, enjoy it, don't keep it.
Finish it all up.
Finish it. Eat all the whiskey.
What a chore.
And don't stand on the scale after. No need.
Don't get on your weighing machine. Stay away from the weighing machine. Don't drive after you eat all that whiskey. Maybe.
No, that was delicious, Heather. Thank you.
Good job.
You're welcome.
Another good one.
Awesome. Yeah. That was a winner. Well, mostly a winner.
Mostly. 2 out of 3 is not bad.
Hey, still passing.
2 out of 3 is better than a pass.
I'll take it. All right. Until next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
And now for the fine print. You can find recipe information and photos on Instagram and Facebook at 3 Kitchens Podcast. Why don't you leave us a comment? Give us ideas for future episodes. We'd love to hear from you. And of course, if you like and subscribe and follow, all of those things help other people find us.
The strawberry was my favorite.
Me too.